First and foremost, I'd like to give infinite praises, honor, and glory unto my power, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rahakadash. I'd like to give double honors where it's due unto the elder apostles on down over at Great Millstone, where I learned this 100% truth from, and a sincere shalom unto you. This is Brother Kazak coming back at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, and I think I'm going to title it Likened unto Cattle. Okay, so let's get into it. As you can see, there's a picture here on the screen of a cow, and I'm sure you can see something that's in its ear, that yellow tag with the barcode, and this is indicative of a mark, okay, of a rancher who owns this cattle, and they use this mark, and inside this plastic mark that they're using, this tag here, is an RFID microchip, and they use it to track the cattle, what seed stock it come from, or lineage, you know, its weight, what it eats, how old it is, when it was born. It logs all these different datas. And keep this in mind for the video, as its name, Likened unto Cattle. Because this is how the ruler that oppresses over us, making all these laws and owns all the banks and everything else, looks at us as. They look at us as livestock, as property. And that's just what cows are to the rancher. They are property. So I'd like to get into some scriptures right now, as I've rambled long enough, to go into what this devil that rules over us. Yes, there is someone that rules over us. We are in bondage, enslaved. We are in slavery. Whether you want to believe it, know it, or anything, we are. And that's just what it is, because the word of the Lord says so. But I'd like to get into scriptures to show this, and I'd also like to play a video from one of the beloved brothers over at GMS Watchman. I didn't ask for permission to play this video. However, we're in the same body, the body of Hamashiach Yahweh, Yahushai, and I'm pretty sure they won't mind me using it, because we're under the same banner, the same tutelage, and we come with the same word, and that's the law, to the law and to the testimony of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai and Lord Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. If they speak not according to the law and the testimony, is because there is no light in them, and we speak according to the law and the testimony, so therefore we have the light, and it dwelleth in us. So let's just get into it. I want to go through the scriptures, and then I'm going to let the video play at the end. So Lord willing, Yahweh Ratazah, he puts his spirit on you to be edified, which means to be built upon in the spirit. Okay, be edified in the spirit, build upon in the spirit, be nourished, be fed, be sheltered, and you know, to watch from the beginning to the end, because this is very important. This is going to come to pass, and we're right on the cusp of it happening. We're so close. That means on the cusp is like we're on the very tip of the finger and about to fall off the edge of no return. So this is very important. All the lessons that the brothers over at GMS come out with are very important, and the like-minded brothers that are under the same tutelage or study. So, all right, let's get into it. I've rambled plenty long enough. I got a new tripod that I got my tablet on, so it might be a little bit wobbly, and I apologize. So we want to get in the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24, and we bring this out a lot because shows that there is someone ruling over us. Job, chapter 9, verse 24, it reads, the earth, the place we live in, is given into the hand of the wicked. Somebody that isn't righteous, somebody that is evil. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? Yeah, who is he? Where is he? We look out the window into the world, and we see all these banks owned by, you know, these small hat people. They're Amalekites that descend from the Edomites. Edom, they're Edomites, but the top tribe of Edom is the Amalekite, the small hat people, the ones that say they are but are not, and do lie, the so-called Israeli. Now, Israeli, okay? And they own all the banks. They own all these big Fortune 500 companies. They own all the gold. And when I say all, predominantly, they only let us have small little slivers of actual wealth. Okay, but they print the money that you use, the currency, the FRNs, the Federal Reserve notes that you go to the store and pay with. And they plan on doing away with that. And they plan on going all digital. They're digital on a digital system right now. If you go to the bank and you want to withdraw or say deposit money into your bank account, put money in there, you take them FRNs, the Federal Reserve notes, the paper money. Okay, and they put them into the bank ledger, into the till, and then they type into their computer digitally ones and zeros and all the increments in between how much you gave them, and then they put it on your bank ledger on your savings or checking account, whatever one you put it on, and it goes into the system, so it becomes digital. Okay? And then when you want to go and extract cash out of there, you go and you write a withdrawal slip or whatever, or you use your plastic ATM card with the RFID microchip that's on it, and you extract back cash from the digital ledger. So it's already digital based, but they still have the stepping stone of cash in there, that increment of cash. So you're still able to use that. They want to do away with that, and not just want to, they're going to. This is all prophesied to happen, and all of the prophecy from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai that has been spoken will come to pass. Okay, but now, starting to go off on a tangent, Job chapter 9 verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? It's Esau, Edom, and we'll get into that, Lord willing. Okay, so I'm going to do away with that, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to pull right here. The second, 2 Esdras chapter 6 verse 9. It reads as such. For Esau, Edom, Idumea, is the end of the world. Not the beginning, not the middle thereof, the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, and we know from Job chapter 9 verse 24 that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, and this shows right here, if you look out the window, and like I've said in other videos before in the lessons, and when I say look out the window, it doesn't necessarily, I mean it can mean it, but it doesn't necessarily mean look out the window. It means look out as society as a whole, whether it be through your portal, like your screen, your TV, a newspaper, word of mouth from your brethren or your friend or your co-worker, whatever, or your own eyes. You see that the world is falling apart, and we're in the end times that have been prophesied through the mouthpiece of the Lord, his holy prophets, his saints, his elect, throughout all of mankind, but predominantly after our Lord Hamashiach Yahushai came to earth to, spread the good news, the gospel. Gospel means good news. And he is prophesying about a new kingdom to come, and that's Jacob, the beginning of it that followeth after the end of the world, which is ruled and ran by Esau, Edom, Idumea. In particular, the small hat Amalekite, the small hat people. Well, we look out the window in society and the world's at an end. Everything's falling apart. So we know, okay, through the scriptures and through what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, that this isn't Jacob's, the beginning of it that followeth. This isn't Jacob's kingdom. This isn't the Lord's righteous kingdom. Because his kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, a kingdom without end. And this kingdom here, it's ending. And I don't even like calling it a kingdom. I call it a queendom with a Q. Queen, because it's a prostitute. And when we look in the word queen, it means prostitute. Okay? And it's feminine. It's effeminate. It's feminine, meaning it's very ladylike. And effeminate, meaning it's faithless. They only trust in the things that are tangible in their hands, which is mammon, their god, money. But I don't mean to go off on a tangent. We're already almost 10 minutes in. And this is probably going to be a longer lesson because I got a whole bunch of scriptures and then that video. And I ramble. And I hope that it be edifying unto you. Yahweh, it will be, and it is. So we know that this is the end of the world, and if we look out the window, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. We can indicate through the scriptures and what's going on that the world is wicked and it's ruled by wicked men. So that wicked man is the tribe of Esau, or the nation of Esau, Edom. And in particular, the head tribe of Esau, Edom, Amalek, the Amalekite, the small hat people. So I want to go and do away with this, and we're going to go into Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. This is to get an even clearer depiction of the wicked, and that we are definitely in a wicked rulership. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2, it reads as such. When the righteous, Jacob, are in authority, the people rejoice. They're all happy and cheerful, and nobody's angry, sad, mad. It's a utopia. It's a heaven for most, okay? But when the wicked beareth rule, Esau, Edom, and the rest of the heathen nations, but in particular, Esau, Edom, because that's the rulership we're under now, the people mourn. They cry, they whine, they sigh, they beg and pray and plead, find reprieve, meaning, be helped out of a dire situation. Okay, and the people mourn, and we look out the window, all the people are mad because of high gas prices, high food costs, high rent costs, wicked rules, or laws, like all sorts of bad shit, and people are mourning. So we know that the righteous are not in authority, but they are. They're about to, because when we went into it in the book of what was it? Shoot, I want to say 2 Esdras. Yeah, shoot, I shouldn't have deleted that. My apologies. Yeah, I think the second book of Esdras, or whatever. The people aren't happy, okay, and the righteous aren't in rule. And, Esau is the end, and Jacob is soon that followeth. So, Jacob isn't an authority. So, I just wanted to point that out. We've indicated through Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2, that we're in a wicked rulership, and then in 2nd Esdras, we found out that it's Esau that's running the show right now. Ultimately, it's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that runs the show, because he rules in the kingdom of men. But the men right now that are in rule is Esau, Edom, Amalek, the so-called small hat. So we're going to do away with that, and we're going to get into what and what not to do. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10, it reads, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." And we know who our enemy is. It's our oppressor. It's Esau, Edom, and the rest of the heathen nations. They rule above us, therefore they are our enemy. But in most particular, Esau, Edom, and Amalek, they are our enemy, because they seek to slay us. Their twin brother Jacob, the so-called African American, so-called Native American, so-called Latino, and foreign Israelite, or Hebrew Israelite foreigners that have been scattered across the 4 winds of the earth, or 4 corners of the earth, as a punishment for going against and transgressing the laws, statutes, and commandments of our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And it was a curse that he would scatter us all over the earth as a punishment and go into bondage under our oppressors. Okay? So we have an enemy, but in particular, it's Esau, Edom, and he's our twin brother, and he formed a covenant that he would seek to slay his brother Jacob, and he hateth Jacob perpetually, meaning forever. It's a hatred that never doth end until his candle gets completely put out, but I'm not going to go into that today in this lesson, but maybe for another. So that's our enemy, and we are to never trust him. This is the Lord speaking. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Meaning that when you see iron, say a knife for instance, and it gets rusty, you can scrape the iron or the rust away, but it'll rust again. It'll keep coming back until it's no more. And it's like a cancer. And we're going to go into the 11th verse as well. And it reads, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10 and 11. We're going to start from 10 again. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. His wickedness will never rub away. If it does, it'll come back continually. Okay, verse 11. Though he humble himself, say he comes down and he comes all sorrowful and in pitiful case, and, oh, hey, brother, how you doing? Apologizing, whatever. And go crouching, meaning coming down low and humbling himself, yet take good heed. This is to us. Yet you, Jacob, Israel, the so-called African-American, Native Americans, Latinos, and foreign Israelite or Hebrew Israelite foreigners that look like the other nations, but are actually Hebrew Israelites, you take good heed, okay? No, have understanding and be vigilant, see with tunnel vision. Take good heed and beware of him, that him being, your enemy, in particular, Esau, Edom, okay, and Amalek, and the rest of the heathen nations. Take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. And you can seek him with a looking glass or binoculars that you can see from far away, okay, and you wiped it off. You wiped off the fog or the smear streaks on the end of the glass, and you'll be able to see through a clean binocular or a clean looking glass very clearly. It's indistinguishable. You have no reason not to be able to see this. This is what it's drilling into us right now by telling us this way. That his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Meaning, you're going to see that he's still your enemy. And that he's still wicked. And there's no changing that. That's what that means. Okay, so now we're going to do away with that. And we're going to go into the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. And we're drilling this point in about our enemies, our oppressors. Okay? Because we do have enemies, we are oppressed. We are in bondage, enslaved. Whether you make a check or you don't, you're enslaved, Jacob. Wake up. Wake up, Jacob. And I'm talking to myself first and foremost, but I'm talking to you, Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21, and it reads, the words of his mouth, that his is Esau, Edom, and the heathen, but particular Esau, Edom, and Amalek on top, the small hat. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. And butter is silky smooth texture, okay? Very smooth and is easily spreadable. But war is in shoot 'em up, bang, bang, war, where a lot of death happens, was in his heart. And in this case, heart is the lav, the mind, okay? War is in this man's heart. And his words are smooth as butter. He's a smooth talker. He uses fancy words to confuse, to bind, and torture all people, even his own. But in particular, and most importantly, our people, Israel. His words were softer than oil. And oil is very, very soft and smooth, okay? It makes your fingers slide together. When you get it on your fingers and you rub them together, it makes them really smooth and lubricated, real loose. Yet were they, that they is, his heart, our enemy, Esau, Edom, Idumea, and Amalek, were they drawn swords. So it doesn't matter how smooth this man, this devil, and devil means deceiver. It doesn't matter how smooth his words are, how smooth he puts them out there, how much he makes you fooled, whatever. He can tell you, oh, I'm going to come and help you. But, and he might mean it to you, but deep in his heart, war is in his heart, and he's drawing swords. And a sword is a death instrument. Okay, it's a death device, and it can come in the form of a pen and paper. Okay, in the form of legislation, is to rule over you. And this man doesn't have your interest in mind, at least not your best interest. He always has his belly in mind, and he puts his belly before he puts all things, because he's a carnal man, and he likes to fill his belly full. Okay, so let's read that again. Book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21, and it reads as such: The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So it doesn't matter how smooth he is, he always wants to kill you, Jake. Wake up, Jacob. Be warned, Israel. So we're going to do away with this now. And now that we know that this man is the devil, the deceiver, and he hates us perpetually, and he kills a lot of us, and he's the rod of the Lord's correction. Lord uses Yahweh uses him as his whooping stick to get us in fucking order. And any of you that don't want to get in fucking order, you're going to become to naught. You're going to get put to flight, and you're going to suffer and die a grievous death. Can't stress this more than I stress it in all my live lessons, my videos, because these are all one take. This is all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So he's having me be his mouthpiece to warn his people that the sword is coming. The sword is here. And this man, he uses a lot of different swords to form grievousness upon our people, Israel. So let's go into the second book of Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 11. Because now we know who the wicked is. We know that we're ruled under by wicked people in a wicked world, wicked society, and we know who it is. It's Esau, Edom, Idumea, and Amalek, the top tribe of Esau, Edom, the small hat people, the ones that say they are but are not. They are Israelis, not Israelites. They are Jewish, and anything that has an ISH on it, that's an ish, is something that it is not. Let's go into that real quick as an example while we're here. I mean, I've probably lost most people watching. We're over 20 minutes, so whatever. It's all by the Spirit. Bear with me. If you put an ish on anything that you're using, it's something that it's not. It's claiming to be something, but it's definitely not. Say a 40-year-old man is acting childish. Is that man a child? No. He's just acting like a child because he's being childish. Say it's not 12 p.m. and it's not 12:30 p.m., but somewhere in between. It's 12-ish. Something that it is not. It's not 12, it's not 12:30, it's 12-ish. It's in between. So it's something that it's not. Point blank, period. The Jewish are not Hebrew Israelites. They are the people of the Holy Scriptures, but they're not the people they claim to be. Okay, they are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. They are those people of the Bible, the wicked, the evil. But they aren't the righteous. They aren't of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's Abraham, Isaac, and Esau is what they are. And they are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. They are the physical counterpart to the spiritual demon Satan. They are ruled by Satan. And we're going to go into here in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It reads, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, that us is the whole world it could be, but I'm not speaking just to the whole world. I'm speaking directly to Israel, Jacob, the Lord's chosen people of his righteousness. That's the us I'm speaking to directly. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, For we are not ignorant, meaning stupid. Oh, right there is an indication, a notification that, what I'm saying, listen clearly. For we are not ignorant, meaning unknowing or stupid, but not knowing, or not knowing of the truth of his devices. Let's read that again. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It reads, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. That's right, we're not ignorant of his devices. We know he's the wicked. After seeing this video, we know that we're living in a wicked society. We know who's ruling it, and we know that we're enslaved to this wicked ruler. Okay, and we want to go, and the whole point of the lesson is all of it, but the main point is he wants to further enslave us in a digital yoke of bondage, and he wants to put it inside our body, and we're going to get into that. So we're not ignorant of his devices. We've been warned. The brothers over at Great Millstone GMS that you can find on YouTube, where this video is going to be going up on YouTube as our format, and they go and do Odyssey and Rumble app and stuff like that, but predominantly YouTube. Nobody that comes across these videos will have an excuse. They're out there on the streets, on the corners, shouting at the people, lifting up their voice like a trumpet and showing the Lord's people, Jacob, Israel, their sins, their transgressions, and warning all people of all the judgments that are coming upon the face of the earth from our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And they will happen. These are all facts. So you won't have any excuses. You will not be ignorant if you come across any of these lessons. So we aren't ignorant of his devices. And Satan is a spirit, and he rules over wicked men, and in particular the ones that are ruling over us, Esau, Edom, because Esau, Edom is the physical counterpart, the flesh counterpart to the spiritual demon Satan. They are the jars, the vessels of the spiritual demon Satan. So we're not ignorant of his devices, and we know, or through the videos and the lessons, if you come across Great Millstone and the like-minded brothers that teach the same doctrine, okay, the same tutelage, you'll know what the devices are. And one of them great devices is an enchantment. It's sorcery, it's witchcraft, it's lies, it's deceit. And they use gradualism, where they gradually nudge their agenda closer and closer to their end goal, using little tiny stepping stones. They'll use verbiage as one, and then they'll get celebrity on board to go along with it. They'll pay the celebrity to, go along with their agenda, and then that celebrity or nobleman or noblewoman will get the people out there in the world, the civilians, on board with that agenda, and they don't know they're following the agenda of an oppressor, because most of them don't even know they're in bondage. So they'll follow that nobleman, that celebrity, to the gates of hell, which the gates of hell isn't a place for spirits, it's a place for humans, and they will die, because hell is a condition first and foremost, and it's the grave. So not to go off, but that's gradualism. They'll get you to gradually accept their agenda, little bit by bit, little stepping stones from one end of the earth over across the water to the next. Taking little stepping stones, moving inch by inch. Okay, so, and then that's in the spirit right there. Let me pull that up real quick. The crash of America, American dollar, and that's what we're going into right now, pretty much. So, we're going to go into the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 10, and we're getting close to closing out with the scriptures and getting on to GMS Watchman's video. Okay, that's going to tie all this together. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, it reads, because thou, that thou there is Israel, in most in particular, the Lord's chosen elect governing body, which is a very small remnant of people, because they're the only ones who are going to truly be able to receive these messages. They're going to be the ones that won't take what's coming ahead, and they won't stand or bow to the spiritual demon Satan, nor the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, which is Esau, Edom, of Idumea, most in particular, Amalek, the Amalekite, the small hat people, and the rest of the heathen nations. They won't bow the knee to the image of Baal. So, when we'll get into that. But Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, because thou, Israel of Israel, hast kept the word of my patience. This my here is written in red. This is the blood of Hamashiach, Yahushai, our Lord, our Messiah, our King. He is the King of Kings. He is the only begotten Son of man, Yahweh. This is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's only begotten Son, Lord Yahushai speaking. And this red he paid for in his blood. He shed his blood by giving us this knowledge. The people killed him for him telling us these things. So we are to reverence all the words, but in most particular, when it's read, we reverence these words because these cost him his life. And he did that for the nation of his people. His people, not the world's people, his people, which is Israel. That descends from Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But in particular, Jacob, Israel. Let's read that again. Revelation, the red letters always, they work me up, and I'm a passionate man, and I try not to get emotional, but when it's written in red, it's hard for me not to get emotional. So my apologies if it comes out a little slurred or whatever. Bear with me, Israel. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, and it reads, because thou, Israel, hast kept the word of my patience, Hamashiach Yahushai's patience, I, Hamashiach Yahushai, also will keep thee, Israel, from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, not some of the world, not part of the world, not this part of the world, not that part of the world, all the world, total. All of the world. Oikameni. To try them that dwell upon the earth. Let's read that again. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It reads, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. So, the Lord's going to keep his people, his chosen people that have been chosen from the foundation of the earth, predestined them for his righteousness, his greatness. Okay? He will keep them from the temptation that will come upon all the face of the earth. So I'm going to keep that, but we're going to put it to the side. I don't want to do away with that just yet. Because I want to go into what the temptation is and one of the devices of, the wicked that beareth rule today. Esau, Edom, Amalek. And you fucking devils are done. You're going down. Point blank, period. And it reads, we're going to go from Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 through 18. But 16, it reads, and he, Esau, Edom, causeth all, not some, not here, not there, not one, not two, all in total, both small and great, meaning, whether you be of power or you not be of power, if you be a little tiny guy or a big guy, okay, young, old, woman, child, man, it doesn't matter. All, both small and great, rich and poor, whether you got money, you're wealthy or you're not. Free and bond, whether you're incarcerated in jail, if you're in bondage like me unto an oppressor, or, you are the bondsman. Causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that word mark, we're going to go into the blue letter and show you what this mark is. That it's an actual, real deal physical mark. We'll do that after, I'm done with the scriptures. But we're going to go to verse 17. And it reads, "In that no man, not one, not two, not 100, not 1,000, but that no man, none, absolutely zero, no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark." There's that word mark again. Charagma. And we will go into that word. "Or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Verse 18. Here is wisdom. And the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. Okay? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So here is wisdom. Here is fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. "Let him that hath understanding," and understanding is the knowledge of the holy, and to be holy is set apart. And understanding is turning away from evil, as spoken of in Job chapter 28, verse 28. Okay? Let him that hath understanding, knowledge of the holy, turning away from evil, fear of the Lord is wisdom, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And that number of a man, 666, is Kaizai stigma. Maybe we'll go into that in another lesson, but I want to go into the mark to show that this is actual, physical, real deal, carnal mark. It's not spiritual. It's not a state of mind, albeit a state of mind will get you to that mark to receive it, but it's actual, physical, real deal mark. So this devil that rules over us, Esau, Edom, is going to cause all people, okay, to receive this mark. And if not, you will be put to death if the Lord does not save you. And the Lord is only saving a small remnant of people, a very tiny amount. So we're not ignorant of this devil's devices. The Lord hasn't made us ignorant to this. He let us know. And if we keep the patience of the word of Hamashiach Yahushai and Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he will also keep us from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, as spoken of in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, to try them that dwell upon the earth. But we're going to go and pull up Revelation 13, chapter 13, verse 16 through 17, or through 18 again, and it talks about the mark, okay? And we're going to go into the Blue Letter Bible to show what that is, okay? So bear with me. Let me pull it up. We're going to type in Revelation 13, 16, and we're going to show what this word is. Oops, shoot. In the King James Version, because that's what we read from predominantly. Okay, and then we're going to go see how it says receive a mark. So we're going to go into Strong's Concordance. We're going to go back down. Okay. And let's see, Mark G5480, and that is on Revelation 13:16. It's on a whole bunch of scriptures, but predominantly here. It's on Revelation 13:17. Yep, is G5480, and we're going to go and pull from that, as you can see. Let's see here.
Strong's G5480, Charagma.
Charagma.
Strong's G5480, Charagma.
Charagma. Okay. Now we're going to go and let's see here. Show Strong's info. It says a scratch or etching, in essence a stamp, in parentheses, as a badge of servitude. Okay? Kind of like when I pulled up that picture of the cow and it had the tag in its ear. It was a badge of servitude. That cow is serving the rancher, his property, okay? Graven mark, okay? And then we're going to go into the biblical usage. A stamp, an imprinted mark, and they're going to implant this biometric RFID radio frequency identification microchip into the body, and it's going to be a symbiote with the human body. It's going to work in conjunction with the body, and it's going to report back to the ones that rule over the person that takes it. Well, in this case, it's Esau Edom. Okay? And you're going to be logged into their system at all times in real time. And I've done other videos about it. One of the videos being calcified pineal gland stare. If you haven't seen that, I strongly suggest you go and see that. I strongly suggest you to watch all the videos the Lord has me do. And may you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, another of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. And that word Antichrist means anti-anointed, anti-Hamashiach. It means someone that goes against the ways and power of our power, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. There's many Antichrists. There isn't just one Antichrist. Anybody that isn't with the Lord and that's against him is an Antichrist. They're anti-anointed, anti-Hamashiach. They are against our Lord. Okay? So, and it clearly shows that it's what it's talking about in Revelation 13, 16, and 17. The mark branded upon horses. Okay, and that cow that I showed you a picture with the yellow tag in its ear with the barcode and the RFID chip inserted inside the tag itself to log and track data of the cow for the owner, the rancher, is a badge of servitude, okay? It's talking about it in horses. And we use the cow as an example as well. So it's definitely a physical carnal mark. Number 2, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. And this image is of a man. Like, the man wants to own you with this, but it's not like a little statue or nothing. That's carved, sculpture, graven work is a different thing. However, this RFID chip, it don't look like a man, but it's made by a man and it goes in a man. And it's to collect and log and trace data on said man that it's put into. So we'll go into the lexicon real quick. The Strong's lexicon for G5480, which is charagma. The implanted mark, the RFID microchip. If anybody is saying anything different, that this isn't what this is, they're a false prophet, and the truth is not in them. Because we are to speak to the truth, or to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And our Lord is our light, and he is the truth. So therefore, the Lord isn't in them, and they are lying, they are not the truth, and they are deceiving you, and they are deceived. So, you heard it here, and you heard it over at Great Millstone, and all the like-minded brethren that are under the same doctrine, the truth, the real doctrine. So if they speak not according to this word, they're fucking lying, and they're deceived. Or they know and they're just being, they took the bag, they got paid. So anyway, a stamp, G5480, charagma. A stamp, an imprinted mark. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand is the badge of the followers of anti-Hamashiach, Antichrist, in Revelation 13:16, Revelation 14:9 and 11, Revelation 15 verse 2, Revelation 16 verse 2, 19 verse 20, and Revelation 20 verse 4. So that's a whole bunch of places that it talks about. So, like, if you don't know this, you're not meant to. And good fucking riddance. See you later. So we'll go, and that's about it. The concordance is saying, what we already went over. So I'm going to put that away. And now that you have that, let's go back into the cow real quick. Shoot. This is that mark that we were talking about, and horses, but this is soon to be humans. And you're not going to see that tag. It's going to be inserted under the skin. And it's going to look something like that. I'm going to let you look at that for a little bit, just so you can get a better image. And those of you tuning in, you know, you can pause your device, Lord willing, and get a better look at it. This is what this devil wants to implant under our skin. And the only ones he's not going to do it to is the Lord's people. Everybody else is either going to die beforehand or they're going to die during and after they receive this mark. And there is no turning back from this. This is unforgivable, unpardonable sin. You cannot go and turn back from this. So once you do this, it's over. You're done. And there will be a thermonuclear ICBM, which is intercontinental ballistic missile, attached to that device. And it's going to have your coordinates, and that device is the waster that's created to destroy, is going to destroy those that have that mark. So now that we went into all of that, I want to go into the video. In this video, I want you to watch and get great understanding. And then after the video is done, I'm going to shut off the video and upload it on YouTube. Yahweh Ratazah. So I want to give a sincere shalom to the hopeful elect, you sincere listeners tuning in, a Yahweh Mahar, which is God's speed, and that Yahweh Mahar is unto the Lord's chosen, holy, elect, governing body from the house of David, Dawadah, King David, okay, and I want to tell you fucking devils, like I do in all the videos, you're fucking done, you're going down, and the Lord is going to destroy you, and the ones he doesn't physically destroy, you're going into bondage. Hardcore slavery. This is Brother Kazak, and I'm out.
Hello and welcome to Finextra TV. We're here at MPE 2022 in Berlin. With me now in the MasterCard Press Lounge is Wojtek Popota, CEO and founder of Walletmore. So, hello Wojtek, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Really good to have you on. We're talking about payment implants, a massive topic at this year's event. So really looking forward to expanding on that. And you're in a great position because you're the world's first to provide payment implants and a full wallet solution to follow. So bring us up to date with where we are with payment implants and how is this even possible?
So as you mentioned, yeah, that's true. Walletmore is the first and still the only company that does those sort of things, which is implantable payment instruments. And we are at the very, very early stage, of course, for this market. We just have a few hundred customers around the world. So it's definitely even a pilot project, like a prototype that we are now offering to our ambassadors, because that's how we called our customers. And it's pretty simple, because let's think of the implant like a mini payment card that you can use wherever you are, whenever the contactless payments are accepted. Just tap your hand to the NFC reader and the payment is done. So as simple as it is with the cards.
All right, well, thank you very much for bringing us up to date then. So tell us, what are some of the advantages then of payment implants compared to the more well-established instruments?
So even though the main advantage of the payment implant is the fact that it's amazing in terms of having it, in terms of using it, and it gives you the sensation that you are, let's say, a better version of a human. But on the other hand, we need to capitalize on the fact that Walletmore implants are both ultimately secure and ultimately convenient. Because when it comes to biometrics, you cannot forget your hand from home or from office, and you always have it, so you can always use, for example, your fingerprint to authenticate a transaction. But on the other hand, once your fingerprint gets stolen, you cannot change it anyhow. In terms of the tokens, the electronic tokens, like a fob, like a card, you need to manage that. You need to carry it. You have a chance to lose it. But on the other hand, if there's any problem with that device, you can just block it or reprogram it, depending on the solution that you use. So Walletmore implants combine those two amazing advantages, and that's why I believe they are the way forward, and that's the future for the individual customers to use it conveniently and securely everywhere where contactless these payments would be possible to authorize it and to proceed.
Fascinating. I mean, it is a really exciting future. And,
It certainly is.
With talking about the opportunities and the advantages, it's worth talking about maybe some of the challenges and hurdles as well. So what are some of those challenges with merging the digital and the physical identity there? What about that?
I believe, Walmart is certainly a very disruptive innovation, and whenever we are looking at the product life cycle of the disruptive innovation, we are always starting with the same group of people. It's innovators and early adopters, and it's no way we can get to the mass market in the matter of a couple of years. It will take a number of years, probably like 10, 15, to normalize this solution, because at the moment, the technology, the digital infrastructure is already there. We have no issues with that. The case is that we need to normalize the device. We need to normalize the, let's say, the approach to put a device into your body, even though it's 100% safe. It's the safety of the device is confirmed, but all the certificates, studies, research, everything that you name, like Walmart wins all the discussions about the biosafety. But what matters at the moment is just the willingness from the banks, from the schemes, from every party that is involved, issuers, acquirers, every party that is involved in the whole transaction scheme. So I believe we are now facing a social acceptance kind of a challenge, and it's the only challenge that we are facing at the moment. But on the other hand, it's the hardest one to come over, because we are all humans and we are, like, by nature not super keen to introduce that disruptive changes to our lives. So I believe the way forward would be to capitalize on our ambassadors, and as long as people see that this device is used by a friend, a member of a family, or a famous person, that's the way forward to bring the device to the mass market. And that's what we are working on. But I'm aware that it's a very long-term game, but on the other hand, a very fruitful long-term game.
So changing perceptions is at the top of the agenda as well then?
Yeah, of course. So it has always been.
Yeah, so taking all of that into account then, could you give us sort of a summary? By no means an easy question, but what do you think the future in the space holds?
I believe it's not related only to the implantable technologies, but I believe that everything, whatever we are talking about the identity, or we are talking about payments or authorization, is becoming more and more digital. We are seeing this with the European Commission's project about digital identity. We are seeing this by multiple initiatives handled by banks, schemes, and all the other companies that are present out there. And I believe that Walmart sort of matches these trends out there. And since more and more gateways and paths are there for the Walmart to step in and to follow, such as being able to offer customers not only a payment solution in the implant, but also an option to, for example, authorize their identity when they are, for example, at the airport and they need to identify themselves to board the airplane, or to go to the local doctor and show them medical documents that they are willing to show, of course. And all of these challenges related to the cybersecurity, to the data management challenges are there to be handled by Walmart. But from the technological perspective, the technology is there. What matters is the willingness from those partners to enable us to offer those services to our customers. Because from our perspective, our device, the implant, is always seen and marketed as an enabler, as an aggregator of multiple features. But in order to be there and to offer those applications and all of these services, you need to have the connection with those partners. So it's not only a challenge towards the individual customers, but also the companies that would be willing to work with us and to put themselves on the same level as Walmart when it comes to the disruptive innovator. Sometimes it might be scary, but I believe, again, in the long-term game, that's something that will happen.
So partnerships are key. So I'll let you get back to the event so you can share your insights with the other delegates and the sponsors. But Wojtek, thank you so much. It's
thank
a really
you very much for
exciting
having
space.
me. Yes, thank you very much.